welcome to the Midweek Mashed Tattie Sportscast. This is indeed another instalment of the Aftermash. It's a wee bit of an impromptu episode. Well, I suppose the Aftermash episodes always are, really, but basically, I mean, long story short, I've decided to take a week off for the MMA mash and the AEW mash. So if you were expecting to see those episodes this week, sorry, they're on hiatus. I do believe we'll see the AEW mash back next week, but the MMA mash will be taking a couple of weeks off because there's no shows on for the major organisations in the MMA world next week. So just take the week off, why not? So you might actually get an episode of the Aftermash next week, Ty. Who knows? We certainly don't. Who's in the show this week, lads? What are we talking? Oh, I've done it again. My name's Mick. They're having Paul. Hello. Hiya.
Oh, aye.
Hello.
Hiya, Mick. How are you? How's things?
What?
I mean, really, I think the most interesting place to start is about your very busy week.
Of course. You're Michael.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Allen here is responsible for setting up cool shit at football stadiums, and you even took in an actual SPFL game this week, didn't you, bro?
Well, I like that. Well,
more from Michael Allen, live from
oh, God. Aye, so
back to you, Michael Allen.
Without getting into too much detail about the company or work or whatever else, basically I'm in the process of starting a new job. And as part of that, I was out sort of freelancing while I'm doing a shift. And it basically involves the perimeter signage at the football games, so like the things that run the ads at pitch side. So I had the pleasure or displeasure, depending on your point of view, of travelling all the way up the length of Scotland up to what'd you call the place again?
Dingwall.
Dingwall, that's it.
Dingwall.
It sounds
Which
like
was the
such a
funniest bit
made-up
about
place
this is
just-
that you went,
just
go to
Disney.
Inverness.
Well, alright.
That was funny, but I'm honestly texting Saturday morning, I'm away at Inverness today to see Ross County versus Hibs, and I'm like, you're not going to fin him in Inverness, bro.
In my defence, right?
And then on my, I googled it because I thought it's Dingwall next to Inverness, but it's in fact about 20 minutes away, isn't it?
If that, man, it's 10-15 minutes.
It's not much. It's not much at all.
You go through Inverness, you're like 5 minutes up the road, and then you pass Cally Thistle Stadium, because that's like in the outskirts of Inverness.
In the outskirts of the town. That's right.
Aye. You go over a bridge. I don't know what the water is. I don't know if it's a river or an inlet for the sea or what it is. I don't know. But you go over water, massive bridge, and then you go up the road 10 minutes, and then you're coming into Dingwall as it happens. So anyway, aye.
Mm-hmm.
Up until a few days, up until Friday, when I had a look to see where I was going, if you had asked me where Ross County played, all I would have said is up north somewhere. That's as much as I can. I kent it was up north.
Pretty much.
And then when I looked at it in the map, I saw it was next to Inverness. So to me, that means it's in the area of Inverness. Hence why, that's why I said that's where I was going. I didn't zoom in far enough to see that it was in a separate town. It was just in that general area, so I went with it.
It was in the vicinity, aye. Oh, I think Dingwall's practically a village anyway, isn't it, mate? Is it a tiny wee place?
Aye, it is. It's like it's like going to like Beechwood, like to see Talbot or something like that. Like it's basically in the middle of a village.
Walking Lake of the North.
It's I mean, it's an alright wee stadium, but wee's certainly the right word for it.
Aye.
But aye, so basically, like I was involved with running the ads on the perimeter boards. And essentially, what it ended up being is, for the majority of the time, I was sat in the wee media room where the players go in and get interviewed and that, and it's where like the photographers and the journalists kind of hang out when they're no out pitch side or whatever. So just sat in there watching the football. It's Hibs v Ross County. Spoiler alert: Hibs 1-2-0.
Aye, but hey, my new favourite player scored a goal in the second half as well.
Ryan Porteous. Oh man. Do you know what though? Dingwall's it's a wee place. It always kind of baffles me that they have this massive stadium and stuff. Dingwall only has a population about 5,500 folk. So it's kind of it's always like they've made it into the Premier League, you know what I mean, the SPL, sorry, and have these, they actually have decent crowds most of the time, but we only have 5,500 folk in the tunes. Do you know what I mean?
They're a kind of happy accident of the opening up to them in third division. Like they were a Highland League team with bugger all of a following that just seemed to catch on. Like, I mean, they've only been professionally a team in Scotland for what, maybe about 30 years, probably. I think Ross County joined the SPL, SPFL, whatever you want to say, mid-90s, I think. Like, so they've not really been about for long. They don't really have a long history, as it were. But yeah, they've won a national, they've won the League Cup and all that, man. Fucking majorly jealous. Like, United chilling out in the old Championship. Nowhere near any of that, man.
just chilling out.
Just chilling out, man. Just chilling out.
Incidentally, the company that I was doing work for also, on a somewhat irregular basis, I do believe, they go down to Somerset. So they.
Oh, do they?
I might see it in their game.
Aye, no doubt, man. Aye.
There you go.
I'll keep you right. I'll be up in the family stand with a very bored Ollie playing his Nintendo Switch. He's all up for
Right,
going,
there
but
you go.
you've got to take the Nintendo Switch with you, man. Like, for when he's not interested in the watch where the ball goes.
Aye.
Ross County was formed in 1929, but that's what you're saying is the junior team. And then in 1994,
1994, see?
that's
Close.
when they came into, aye. So, aye. They've done pretty well. I mean, when you look at the stadium, the capacity is 6,541.
Yeah, the village of Dingwall probably only has about 4
It can
people.
hold. And their tune only has the tune only has 5,500 folk in it.
I knew it was some sort of mad stat like that. You could literally fit all the inhabitants of Dingwall within the stadium and then some. Like, it's ridiculous.
Aye. Aye. Anyway, let's move on. Let me rant about something. Does that sound good?
Go for it.
Tell you what, here's a thing to rant about. Do a Tagovailoa.
That's exactly what I was
the
going.
old concussion shite. Jesus.
That's
How fucking terrifying was that? Watching that, by the way.
exactly what I was going to rant about. This situation is, oh my god, it's just so. It's if anybody doesn't know, right? So Tua Tagovailoa is star quarterback for Miami Dolphins. Last week, Sunday, they were playing against Buffalo Bills. Tua gets tackled. Well, no, actually, he gets pushed. And then he falls back. He hits his head on the turf. He gets up, takes a couple of steps, wobbles, nearly falls down. You can see he's disorientated, takes another couple of steps, same thing. So they take him off the park to the concussion protocol, which they should have done. So they got that part right. He goes into the locker room. I sent you guys a video. If anybody wants to watch it, just literally go into YouTube and just put Tua versus Bills concussion, and you'll see it come up, and there'll be a wee clip. You'll see it. And I said in the group, I guarantee you he'll be back on the park. And started the second half. So that was the end of the first half. So in the second quarter, I think it was like 2 minutes to play, roughly. And then halftime break, and then they come back on. And lo and behold, who's here? Tua, woo! Should never have been let on the park. But gets to the end of that game without further incidents. Thank God for that. They have a game on Thursday against the Bengals. And if you didn't know, Tua, so 4 days later, or is that 5? Fuck knows, math. Anyway.
5 days later, man. Sunday, Thursday.
If you didn't know, in between that, Tua didn't train. He didn't train because apparently he had neck and foot injuries, so he couldn't train. Funny that. Then we come to the Bengals game, and he gets another. This time he gets tackled, properly tackled. Down he goes again, hits his head. This time he postures, his hands posturing. Basically, it's like they cramp up, and he's taken off the park because he has an obvious head injury or brain injury. And it's just like everybody was saying, why was he allowed back on? Why was he playing in this game? He shouldn't have been playing in this game. Everybody knows that he shouldn't have been playing. He got cleared in the first game through a loophole, by the way, in the way that the NFL have the concussion protocol worded. And one of them, they got away with it because he didn't get knocked. So the first game against the Bills, when it first happened, he didn't lose consciousness. So that's a tick. You can go back. So, but then there's another part where where they say it's up to the doctors and that to see if he lost mobility and if he had, lost his senses and stuff. But the problem is, by the time he got back to the locker room and then they did these checks, he's quote unquote okay, because that's 15 minutes ago that happened. So the thing is with concussions, sometimes very quickly you can seem okay. Do you know what I mean?
It's there's always the kind of thing to try pretend you're okay.
Well, there's that too. I watched a thing on. Actually, I could show you the video. It's an actual doctor explaining what happened in this. But the head coach. Oh, and this was another thing that the folk were defending the head coach. They were saying he's been cleared by the medical team to play. It's right, okay, yeah, that's fine. But the head coach is a freaking human being who has his eyes and a freaking brain and can see that dude was not okay in that game. You shouldn't have come back on in the first time. Never mind play the second game. Ridiculous, man. The NFLPA, so that's the Players Association of the NFL, they said on Monday, they came out and said that they were going to investigate what happened on the Sunday.
Right, so it's now under. I believe the independent doctor has been fired, by the way.
Well, aye.
From
that's the easiest person to fire.
Well, that's the easiest way to say, it's his fault. He done his job wrong, effectively.
Mm-hmm. But here's a way to put it, right? Michael, you seen the video for the first time.
Yep.
Obviously, you did, T-Paul.
Yes.
Right. Imagine Tua was a boxer, or he was in any mixed martial arts, any martial arts that has a hard that, you get knocked down, you get count to 10. Let's say he gets up on the 8, referee's counting, gets to 8, Tua stands up, the referee says, right, come here. He takes a couple of steps and he stumbles. What would have happened?
Oh, it'd be waved off.
Most instances, the fight would be got off.
Aye, be waved off.
Exactly. For, you know what I mean? He would have been done. Especially if he stumbles and then stumbles again. The referee would have waved that, so it was nah, that's it. But, oh no, American football, hey, a joke, man. Absolute joke. Do you want to see what this doctor said? He actually has 3 videos about it, but there's one.
Aye.
Anyway, you talk about what.
It's just bloody mental, man. I'm just thinking of the potential health implications in that lad's future, because in the second incident, when his hands are posturing, that's seemingly that's a big sign of a potential brainstem injury. So it goes beyond just a severe concussion or effectively a severe concussion, I was going to say, or TBI, traumatic brain injury. But effectively, a severe concussion is a TBI. So it could potentially be a lot worse than that. So that lad might not come back for that. I mean, he probably will.
That's the thing.
But he also probably shouldn't.
Why? The thing is, it's not a guarantee that he recovers for that. That's,
No.
Well, recover enough to be able to play again. And here's another thing, by the way. That was the third game in the season that he got injured the first time. Miami Dolphins won their first two. And, he didn't need to be on the park after that. I mean, in any, it doesn't matter if they were in the Super Bowl, he shouldn't have come back on, but, just...
it wasn't crucial to their success in the league.
Exactly, because it's the start of the season. They could go on and lose the next 5 games, right?
Yeah.
And still be okay because they can still come back and have a win and get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's not crucial. So it's one of them where he should have not come back on the park, but it's not like a critical part of the season where they quote need him, So they should have took him off halftime, sit out the next game or next 2 games, depending on their schedule, take a couple of weeks and then come back. Give it time to heal. But 4 days, man, 4 days. And now potentially it could be out for the rest of the season. Or it could be out indefinitely.
Well, that's the sad truth to this, is that a young man's career's probably potentially finishing just as it's really starting. It's only second season in the league professionally.
Aye. Or third. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I'm sure it is just as a third.
I think so. But anyway.
It's a shame for him. Young guy with all his ambitions.
I
think the worrying thing for me is I haven't actually seen him talk about it publicly yet. Fair enough, he's put the social media with the well-worded sort of public statement, but as that came to his mouth, probably no. But that's probably been put out by his social media team who look after him. So we don't actually know how well this boy is now, whether he's recovering well or whether he's in a lot of trouble. It's kind of being closely guarded, I would say. Have you seen the public? I mean, the public statement is literally just a nicely worded sort of, pretty much a kind of standard letter style statement that's been put in his Twitter. It really doesn't really do enough, I don't think. As the organisation, to reassure fans that this fella's actually all right. It's very, very sort of lifeless for me. You know what I mean?
It was the head coach after. I mean, Michael, when you sent the clip of the head coach, and he's just very blasé, like, oh yeah, thankfully it's just a concussion. Oh, fucking what? It's like, yeah, just a concussion. Like, Christ. He's like, yeah, he's he's woke up. Because apparently he did actually get properly knocked out. And he's flying back with the team. I don't know if that should have happened either, but I mean, who knows? Anyway, if you want to watch this video, it's right here. I've sent it in the chat. You want to watch it? It's 5 minutes.
I've got it.
No,
queued up, ready to go.
So if anybody else wants to watch it, it's a doctor who does a lot of these sports injuries. So he does. So it's Brian Suterer, MD. That's the YouTube channel's name, and it's Tua Tagovailoa, but you don't spell it like you say it. So it's Tua is Tua, and then Tagovailoa is Tagovailoa, and then stretchered off after severe head injury doctor explains. It's 4 minutes, 53 seconds. Everybody ready to press play?
Yep.
All right, we'll press play in 3, 2, 1, play. So the first thing that I thought when I watched that video was like, shit, this guy, he's a sports doctor. That's his specialty. He's saying that, like, it's scary. So anytime you have a doctor that says, like, oh, that's scary, then it's kind of pretty serious, is it not? Like,
the biggest takeaway was how concerned he was emotionally. Like, it was genuinely bothering him to watch what happened to this boy on the field of play. And I think there was a lot of frustration as to, I think, what he'd seen as kind of missteps as far as looking after the welfare of him as a player. Like, he was coming at that solely as a doctor, which is their role, is to look after people, like, first and foremost. And what he's observed is that this fella's been failed a wee bit in that sense. His best interest, health-wise, hadn't been looked after.
He'll be frustrated as well because, like, it's doesn't look good in his profession that somebody's allowed him to go out and get re-injured when he shouldn't even have been out there, you know. So it kind of, I wouldn't say tarnish it. That's a bit too far, but, you know, just doesn't look good.
No, absolutely no.
But aye, he's Michael?
I just think it's ridiculous, man. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need any medical training to know the first incident that there was an issue. And then to see the way he was after the second hit, like, it's clear that he's unwell. You know what I mean? Like, he shouldn't be allowed near a practice field or a game for a long time. But I've got very little faith that, I mean, it's got a lot of media attention now, so maybe that helps, but I wouldn't be shocked to hear he's pressured to come back early, like earlier than he should be coming back.
Yep. The other problem with that is, I don't think you like, obviously I don't know him, so I can't really speak for him, but I'm sure that him at that young age, with this fire in his belly to compete and to win games, I'm sure you'll not have to put much pressure on him to come back, because he'll want to play. Right. You know, which, it's just one of those things. I've done it. Maybe not for a concussion, but like injuries, knowing that I'm not supposed to play a game, I still go and play like rugby, you know what I mean? Like, so I can only imagine them when they're like professional athletes, you know, that's their bread and butter and that's what they're used to. You know, of course he's going to want to get there and play, but maybe it's something maybe that they need to more education. Work needs to be done when the players are in high school, college. Be like, listen, like, they need to, it needs to be drilled into them. Like, when you're injured, you don't play. Don't pretend. Like, it's. I mean, especially when it comes to head injuries. I mean, if you've got, like, you know, if you fracture your foot, you've got a broken foot, you're not supposed to, and you come back early, you re-injure it in that, but it's not the same as a head injury, do you know what I mean? Even that, you shouldn't be playing, but, you know, they need to be, like, it needs to be drilled into them. When you're injured, don't pretend. First of all, don't pretend that you're not injured, because that happens all the time. You know. Second, don't come back too early. You know, wait till everything's all done and dusted, 100%. You can come back. Why? More education needs to be done for the players to try and stem that flow, like coming back too quick. But then again, there needs to be. This is the time. The NFL is really serious because the NFL always says it's we're here to protect the players. That's our number one goal. You know, give the fans a product to watch. If they are really serious about player protection, they need to come down hard on the Miami Dolphins and everybody who is involved in this with Tua, and set it straight so that every other team sees what's happened and they're like, right, we need to really be on the ball with this stuff, because if we're not, we're going to get shafted.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree.
Will it come to that?
Agreed.
Doubt it.
God only knows.
God
only bloody knows.
Oh.
I've got an off the wall question for you, by the way.
Yeah.
I can out there one. This is totally removed from sport, unfortunately. But I want to know what you think about this, right? Because this I find weird about the world. So I don't know if you have seen. It's all the rage now. This Netflix show that came out that's about Jeffrey Dahmer, the serial killer.
Right. Oh,
aye.
God,
You know the one I mean?
Aye.
I've not watched it, but
No, but wait.
I know it's a thing.
I think I know where you're going with this, but...
So, you might well do, but I'm going to ask you a question anyway, because I want to know where you're kind of sit in this kind of thing. Is it right to fucking make these people rock stars? Because I feel like this does. Making it a big glossy sort of Netflix show, all this kind of exciting entertainment. The world's all caught up with, isn't it amazing how great this actor is who plays him? There's an auction going on with the guys with that Jeffrey Dahmer's glasses now selling for fucking crazy money because it's all of a sudden a cool thing to own, like fucking serial killer's glasses. Does that not say something a bit weird about society to me? Like that for me, that fucking
aye.
Doesn't it sit right
all
with
that
me, man?
shit is just it's weird as fuck that folk want to buy glasses. It's so stupid. I love watching
it's fucking wild.
True crime stuff. Like I love to know the ins and outs and all that stuff. But you would never see me idolizing a serial killer. Like I don't know.
Like it's
I just love watching those shows. I like finding out how the police caught them or how they got caught, how they slipped up. You know, what they were thinking. Especially like the ones where they interview the folk, like, and they try and get into their brain and be like, you know, see what makes them tick. Why did you kill us? Why did that? I love all that stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird, but I would never idolise them.
I mean, it's that. I know that's obviously.
Go ahead, Michael. You talk.
Aye, that's obviously the intention of the show is to make the guy look like a rock star, but that's what inevitably what comes of it. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, aye.
For me, I'm indifferent, man. Like there's kind of two check boxes. One is like, has enough time passed? Because you know, like while like there's still a trial, or you know, it's recent enough in the memory of the loved ones of the victims that any mention of it is problematic, then stay away from it. But you know, when it's something that's happened a long time ago, then it's fair game. And then I think as long as any dramatisation that's part of, you know, the film or the TV show or whatever isn't going too far in the direction of making
Hollywood,
making the killer or the whatever it is, or she, you know, as long as it's not making them look better or making them look cool, or, you know what I mean, like keep the thing as factual as possible, then just go for it, man. And then people are people. Like there's always going to be some people that are weirdly into it. It's even like in real life, man. Like there's, as far as I know, like every prison has like pen pal
that's fucking
type
wild,
things,
man.
and you know, like, it's wouldn't be the first time a murderer on like death row or whatever had like found their one true love through like a pen pal system and got married and shit like that. Like People are weird.
Aye, well, aye. Bomb
Aye,
fucking
people are
line.
weird, man. They actually, there was this, the Night Stalker or something like that. He was a serial killer in America too, and he had women, and he was
That's
fucking
fucked up,
killing
man.
women,
Mm-hmm.
and he had women sending him pictures, because back, I think it was in the 80s or whatever, the Polaroid, they were
Polaroids.
taking pictures, Polaroid naked, and sending them to him and professing their love for him and stuff. I'm like, you're just, why, you're weird, man. Why are you doing that? Anyway. It's weird that people glorify these kind of people, but I mean, humans are just
definitely.
weird. Look at the amount of cults that are it's crazy.
No, it's just I thought it was a worthwhile one to see where you can where it can quote you attention wise, because obviously it's like, I think it's one of Netflix's most viewed bloody television shows.
Michael, I have a question for you.
Sure.
For you. Did you see? You probably have. So I get your thoughts on it. This dude, Ruel Rosas Jr., the 17-year-old, who's the youngest ever person to sign a contract for the UFC.
Yes.
17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's been given a special license. He had to get a special license for the Nevada Athletic Commission
to get a special license to fight in Nevada, to be on the Dynamite Contender Series.
Contender Series, aye. Obviously, how does that work now that he's in the UFC? He would just have to get special licenses,
depending
on which state.
Depends where his fights are, because every state's different.
Aye. Obviously, we can fight because he's bet a few folk that are a lot older than him, to be honest. Do you think? What do you think about that?
I
think it's all right. Do you think?
I think it's utterly stupid.
Right.
The lad, he's going to have problems in later life, is my kind of initial takeaway. He's, I don't know. I've not seen all his fights. I've just seen some highlights and stuff. I've not seen all his fights. I've not seen his training. I don't know what sparring he's been doing, but he started at a very young age, and he was adamant for a young age that he wanted to be a fighter. It was something like 4 or 6 or something like that. He started training, and it was at a pretty young age. I want to say something like 8, 9, somewhere about there. He got pulled out of school. He was getting homeschooled so that he could. No, actually, I think it was a bit later than that. I think he was training round about school for a few years. I don't know. Whatever age he was, at a very young age, he started getting homeschooled so that he could dedicate himself to training. He's skipping out on doing college and whatever else. You know what I mean? So he's got nothing to fall back on. Fighting's it.
Yeah.
And then he's went amateur, senior level amateur at 14, and then turned professional. I think it's 16. Had however many professional fights to then get him a chance on Contender Series, and obviously now he's been signed. So I think he's been fighting full contact too young. I think it's silly his parents to let him. To be fair, my opinion would probably be way different if I was the same age as him. But now being a parent and stuff,
of course,
I think that his parents are dumb to. I mean, encourage him to follow his dreams, of course, man. But he should have something to fall back on, because all it takes is one bad injury, and that's his fighting career gone. You know what I mean? So. And in terms of for the UFC's perspective, he's got a wee bit hyper on him in some parts of the world, namely like parts of America. But it's not as if he's some massive star, so that I don't think they gain too much just purely by signing him. Other than some sort of brief fleeting media attention. And he like the lad is talented and has a lot of potential, but it's very much unrealised potential at this point. He's a really good grappler, but he's no like the next, like BJ Penn or Damian Maia or whatever else. Like, he's a decent wrestler. He's got very good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for his age. Very good. But no to the point. Like, I mean, like, his fight on Contender Series, he was fighting a guy that had a wee bit more experience than him. Not a lot, but a wee bit. And he couldn't finish him. Like, he got the win, but he couldn't submit the guy. And his striking's fairly mediocre for being a pro level. I mean, for being 17.
Because he's 17, of course.
Very good.
He's got boy power, effectively.
Aye. But, I mean, he's got a long way to go. Like put him on a development contract. They've done that before. They've signed other guys to development contracts. Have him go fight until such time as you think he's ready. And maybe it's like 2 fights time and he's 18. Or maybe he has like 6 fights or whatever and then he's 20, 21. But let him go develop elsewhere. He doesn't need to be in the UFC, man. He's not ready for it.
No.
They'll have to bring him on really slowly, which isn't what they should be doing.
I think he's getting set up for failure here.
In a way.
In my honest opinion. Unless they're solely going to let him develop. So if he goes and loses 5 fights, then they keep him on because it's not really his fault. He's fighting much more experienced people than himself. Unless the day of wrestling, take a leaf out of the boxing and wrestling's book and just sign a couple of jobbers that you can run through. Give him some confidence, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like, as you said, Michael, great to follow your dreams and that, but fighting so young in the UFC is could be disastrous for him. But on the other hand, he could become a super duper star. So I mean, only time will tell. You're
not at your physical maturity until the 20, man.
That's a big thing that people don't know. The prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed until you're roughly 21.
Oh, aye.
Like,
that's true.
And that's responsible for...
You're not grown up until your early 20s.
Aye. That part of the brain responsible for dealing with emotion. That's why teenagers are so erratic. And young kids freak out over things and they go on as if the world's ending, and it's because to a degree it is to them because they can't handle emotion.
Aye.
And so for him to potentially take serious brain trauma while that's still developing could literally change his personality. It could cause him to develop differently. It could have already happened.
Aye.
How do you feel being a fighter in there as an adult hitting a 17-year-old boy as well? Would be my big question. Like, how do you disassociate what you're looking at in front of you to, fuck, this is my job, he's my opponent? Like, surely a bit of that fighter is thinking, fuck, this is a Wayne, this is a child. And if any fighter's saying they're no thinking about that, they're probably lying. Like, I don't think you're in good conscience trying to crack a fucking child.
What weight division is he?
Featherweight, I think.
Featherweight, isn't he? He looks very small.
But he's
featherweight.
He's probably going to move, as he matures, he'll probably move up to lightweight.
Up.
But then when he goes to
he's
lightweight,
got a
he's not going to be...
long body, by the way.
Aye, he's tall for... He's got a big frame for featherweight, but once he goes lightweight, he'll lose any advantage that gives him.
mean, one thing I'll say, I've got it on while I'm
man.
talking to you guys here. He's very fluid in his kind of movements and transitions on the ground. Like, there is some talent in the boy, obviously, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's the way you bring it out. I'm like I don't think that. I think that's quite irresponsible. I've got to say, lads, for me.
Aye, for sure. Right, so how about this for a situation, right? He goes in he's 3 or 4 fights, he's just running through a few folk in the division, and then UFC say, all right, here's Shikadze. He's at featherweight, right? Aye. Like, what do you think's going to fucking happen in that fight? Or even Brian Ortega. Like, yeah, you're right. Aye.
He's
Ortega.
He's nowhere near the level of the top 15. Nowhere near.
Absolutely.
No.
Anybody in the top 15
just
would
hit my
destroy
mic.
him.
Aye. So, aye. But like that this is the danger that you run the risk. If he goes out there and has 5 or 6 cracking fights, then it's like, well, he needs to fight somebody in the top 15. And by that time, is he going to be ready for that? Probably not.
I would liken him to Aaron Pico in Bellator. Aaron Pico was a young lad who was a national champion wrestler and a Golden Gloves boxer. He was a massive prospect, tons of potential. He could wrestle, he could strike, he was going to take over the world. And then he came into Bellator and lost his first fight.
Aye.
And he's had some good wins since then. And he's fought this weekend there. He was fighting Saturday night and dislocated his shoulder during the fight, and obviously like kind of through the injury lost. And it's just no happened for him. Like he came in with so much hype. He had the UFC interested in him, he had Bellator, he had PF, everybody wanted a piece, man. This kid was like going to be the next superstar, and he just fought guys that were too good too soon, and it's just not happened for him. And he's still going to fight on for a bit, and he's going to make some money and everything. But if he had the right people run about him that got him the right fights until he was really ready for the top level, whether that was going to be in Bellator or UFC or whatever, like he could have been a proper superstar and made some dosh. But
I mean, that's one of the other things. It's if you have the right tutelage or not. Like, if you have the right tutelage, you could go bad, but aye, people around about you. I just want to say, in case anybody's hearing any panting on my end here, so anybody listening,
You
that's
don't
my
know
dog
what the hell that
managed
noise
to get in.
I can't indeed hear
when I'm
that.
recording, so
Tell him he's a good boy. He's a good boy.
so I'm sitting here clapping him so he doesn't know but
Hell yeah,
Toby.
man.
So there you go. Toby's joined us today for a wee bit.
Fucking
A
mental.
wee bit. God. Why? I think UFC are wrong for thrusting them into the limelight like that. I mean, well, I can say that now, but you never know if what their plan is. I don't know what their plan is, but hopefully they take their time with the boy and let him train, and as you say, like kind of like a developmental thing, but they've signed him fully, but kind of go along that route of developmental.
I'm assuming it will go the route of
That would
Sean
be the
O'Malley.
best thing.
You know what I mean? Like Sean O'Malley got kind of lesser
Hopefully.
experienced guys for a while. I mean, part of that was because Sean had said, like point blank, like I'm not fighting anybody that's ranked until I get another deal, because he was on like this bargain
I
basement
remember that. Aye.
entry level deal. So he wasn't fighting any big names until he was getting the proper money for it, which is it's very mature of him. It's like, got to applaud that. But he was basically brought in to fight guys that would kind of allow him to no pad his record, but can get good wins and build his experience and name. What do you think, Toby?
Hey, Toby boy, tell us what you think,
Toby's
pal. Come on, pal.
I'm wanting clapped.
It's ridiculous. There's this golden
God.
head appear out of the camera over there.
Oh
Outstanding.
man. But one thing I would say with Sean O'Malley though is that he has other revenue streams, so he could afford to take that time. Whereas, again, I don't really know much about this Ruel, but he might want to, fight straight away because he needs money or whatever,
I think as the youngest UFC fighter, he's about a lot of social media, like opportunities.
Die.
178,000 followers, by the way, already at 17.
Die. That's been boosted by the UFC.
Aye.
Signing the UFC. Aye.
If he's smart, he'll capitalise on this. He'll sign some sponsorships. He'll get in about some streaming on Twitch or YouTube or whatever it is. But it's a big gamble on his part and on UFC's part. Because
Sure.
the UFC, they do not want a 17-year-old lad getting sparked out cold. And they're all
no.
That's not a good look.
No, they don't.
That is
The
not a good
optics
look.
would be terrible. As soon as that happens, the media, because right now the media is running with it. Oh, he's the youngest UFC fighter, blah blah blah. The world's his oyster, etc. etc. As soon as that boy gets sparked, if he was to fight tomorrow and he got sparked in a UFC ring, there would be mayhem in the papers. The headlines would be, they would vilify the UFC and Dana White, so they would, after just praising him. But aye, he's what? Sorry, what I was going to say is, did you see? Oh my God, Jose Mourinho. That guy cracks me up. So he was banned from the touchline against Inter Milan. So he's sitting outside the San Siro in a van with a telly, just watching the game on his Instagram. Just fucking, the man's a legend, so he is. I see his video, and then he's just, he gets out the van, and he finds two Roma fans, after the game that they won, and he's sitting there celebrating with them. He's he's a legend, man. Oh,
He was in Stormzy's music video, man.
That's right. He was in Stormzy's music video a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he's in Stormzy's music video, man.
Like, imagine that. Like, the only Jose Mourinho in a grime video quality. Oh God. His name will be Roma though. So he is.
He's living the dream, man. He's living the fucking dream.
He's living a dream with him.
Fair play, the guy.
By the way, Man United got beasted by Man City today, 6-3, Michael.
Oh.
If you didn't see. Right. Yeah, 6-3. I've got a tale of the tape since Sir Alex Ferguson left Man United in 2013. Listen to this. Premier League titles, Man City 5, Man United 0. Major trophies, Man City 12, Man United 3. Average Premier League points per season, 85 for Man City, 68 for Man United. 9 runs of 7+ consecutive wins for Man City, 0 for Man U. 33 games won by 5 goals or more for Man City, 1 for Man United. And then approximate total spend, Man City have spent 1.38 billion, Man United have spent 1.43 billion.
That's quite ridiculous, man.
So Man United have spent more money than City and have won far less.
Wow.
So all the United fans talking about the money hasn't been spent in their squad. Well, it has. Just haven't had the right man in charge, it would seem.
No, it's been a lot of fun. What do you say? Man City of late, as far as football goes. They're basically playing FIFA with the world.
But it's aye, Haaland. Oh my God,
Erling Haaland is incredible. That's the next generational talent in the game.
That lad, Michael. You said that he's got to set all kind of records.
Mm-hmm.
Like he already set one the day.
I saw that 3 consecutive hat tricks in home games or something.
Well, it's took him 8 games to get 3 hat tricks in the Premier League, and I think the next person is
40 odd games for everybody else.
Aye,
Michael Owen.
Aye, it's crazy. Where did I have it?
Fucking
Anyway,
wild, man.
but aye. So he's just smashing
It
it.
was the
He's just
first player to net 3 successive hat tricks at home in the Premier League.
There you go. That's fucking phenomenal. So
He's
it
what,
is
22 or something?
like
22, right? 22.
aye,
Old man. He's
about that, man.
if he keeps the heat, like if he doesn't go batty, he is going to be unbelievable, man. Like he's today what he's doing already. Like he's going to beat all the records if he keeps going.
Aye.
50 goal season. It's a 50 goal season coming.
It's
Yep.
unbelievable.
First player since Messi to do it.
He's got maturity way beyond his years. Like he's so cool, calm, and collected. It's ridiculous, man.
He's a freak, man. Absolute freak.
Aye, it's crazy. Like, I mean, it helps when your dad was a professional footballer, so you've seen like what it is to be a professional. You've grew up around it, so he's basically kind of had that for he was a young boy, and just trained as a professional, as a young boy, like as a professional would, but as a young boy, like, and it's paid dividends already. One of the things that blows my mind is like, how did other teams let Man City buy him for 50 million?
Aye, that's
Like,
that's
he had
one of the wildest
buyout
things.
clause.
Man.
Like, you could have signed him for 50 million. Like Liverpool had 50 million they could have paid for him. Why did you know? Like, I'm sure that he would have been somewhat inclined to go to Liverpool.
Listen to this.
You know?
A couple of stats, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got 17 goals and 3 assists in his last 11 games,
Jesus Christ.
which is just insane, right? But then this is even more crazy. So this is the amount of matches taken to have 3 hat tricks in the Premier League, right?
That's what I was talking about.
Andy Cole, 65. Fernando Torres, 64. Ruud van Nistelrooy, 59. Michael Owen, 48. Erling Haaland, 8.
Easy.
8. Aye.
What?
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It helps to have a strong team about you and stuff. But that lad's on another level, man.
It's what Man City were missing. This is what will drive Man City on to be the Barcelona team that Pep had.
If Man City don't win the bloody Champions League with him, Pep Guardiola, what you doing, mate?
This will be the year.
Do you know what I mean? Aye. It's insane. And to think that the boy's got a good, at the least, another 20, 22 years in his career. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, we've probably still got 10 plus years to see at the top level. And don't know what it does for there, but ridiculous, man.
Aye.
Oh, aye, sorry, he's 22 now. I was thinking
10 years.
he's still
10 years at
18.
least.
22.
Aye, so I mean, aye.
Aye.
So another 10 years he'll be 32.
He's
Like,
the first player
crazy.
to score in his first 4 away games in the Premier League. And he's the youngest player to score 25 goals in the Champions League.
Yep, that's right.
Jeez.
That was broke last year, I believe, or the year before. Anyway, but the dude's a beast. I mean, I seen an interview with one of his coaches for the Norwegian team. Was it Molde? Who was it he played for when he was? It was Mould, aye?
Mulder. Aye. Mulder. Aye.
Aye, Mould.
Went from there to Salzburg to Borussia Dortmund.
Aye. And the guy from Mould was saying when he was there, he was a machine. He was super strong, super fast. He would just eat the place down. Like, but he was very serious in his training. Like, he was saying, like, I was paraphrasing, but like, he's mentally, he wasn't 17. Mentally, he was in his mid-20s, you know. So, aye, he having that mentality for such a young age is always going to do the world a good in sport. Like having that ability to learn and want to learn to become better and stuff, you know, because a lot of football players don't actually get like that until they're in their 20s, until they start taking things serious then, you know, and he's been taking it serious for how many years? It's insane, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's next for him after City? Real Madrid, Barcelona? And then where? Like, I'm sure he'll not stay at City for the rest of his career.
I don't know, man. From PSG for stupid amount of money.
Or PSG.
Oh my
aye.
God. Can you imagine? That just occurred to me, man. What if he does go there for a crazy amount of money and then they've got fucking Neymar, Messi, Haaland? What?
Mbappe.
Aye. I know you mentioned Mbappe as well.
He
Jesus.
doesn't need to. He's the best player in the world and probably the best team. Why would you ever need to go to PSG?
Well, aye. I mean,
Money.
well, that's the thing. Like, he wouldn't need to, but he could.
Well, I mean, realistically, by the time he's 25, he might have won every cup he can win in England, plus potentially the Champions League if Man City keeps it together.
Aye.
Here's something. He could literally, if he wanted to, he could just go around.
Aye.
So he could go win the Premier League, go to PSG, win the French League, go to Spain, win that league year, back to Germany, win the league with whoever there, go to Italy, win the league year. Like that could, like, you know, that could be, aye, that could be his goal. Oh, let me just win trophies everywhere.
3 seasons in each place,
you know, like it's crazy. It's, as I say, the only thing that Haaland probably can't win is the World Cup and the UEFA, UEFA. Euros, aye, sorry. Fucking UEFA. Euros.
Gotta win the UEFA.
No, of course you can. Yeah, you win the UEFA Cup easily. But aye. And I say probably. Because, you know, Norway.
Maybe he's the catalyst, man.
Don't really.
I mean, I don't know about World Cup, but like, maybe he's the catalyst for maybe not this next Euros, but maybe the one after. Maybe they build the team round about.
Well, this is the thing. I'm no like an expert in Norwegian football, so I don't really know the players that are coming through or anything like that. You know, well, I know you've got Odegaard and you've got a bloody Haaland. That's you know, but like if they have a few very good players coming through, like in the defence and midfield, Haaland banging in goals for you, Odegaard, you know, running the midfield. Aye, you could.
Couple of decent wingers and a strong defence with Haaland up front. that is a team to beat.
Aye. I don't know, Paul. Do you know much about Norwegian?
No, greatly. I'm not gonna
like
lie.
Players.
Aside for the likes of the ones that you're talking about.
I didn't think you would, but just
the ones in the biggest teams, obviously, fair play. They're pretty decent players. Sander Berge, obviously, at Sheffield United as well. A decent midfielder.
Aye, Berge, aye.
I mean, international football.
Elanusi.
I always think with international football, you're better having a couple of excellent players, and then the rest of the team can just do their bit. Like
Aye.
Denmark's a perfect example of that. A team full of workers, good environment, and they've got a couple of Hollywood kind of guys that kind of do the bit on the big games. Like that could be normal. Hey, one for Wales a few years ago with Gareth Bale, and they nearly go to the fucking final of the Euros. So I mean, it's not ridiculous. Like definitely not ridiculous.
It's not actually. When I'm looking at it now, right? There's a few players in there that are just coming of age. Really, I mean, you've got Christopher in defence. He's only 24. Like, and he's, in my opinion, a top quality defender. You know, plenty of room for improvement. No, you've got Marcus Pedersen. He's 22, playing for Feyenoord again. Good player. You know, Leo Odegaard, 22, the left back. Patrick Berg, Sander Berg. You've actually not bad. I mean, you only need one striker, Haaland. But they've got a few, but aye. I mean, right coach, get them working together, yes, they can grow.
Yeah, you never know.
But just like Porteous, he's going to grow into the captain of Scotland. So he is. Oh, God. I don't know about you lads, but I don't really have anything else to talk about.
Yeah.
I think we have successfully done a tour of the topics and covered a bit of everything.
Aye.
So we should probably wrap it up there. This has been the Aftermash. We may or may not have another episode of the Aftermash coming in hot next week. Check out the Moto Mash tomorrow, talking all things Singapore GP and more. And get in touch. Check out the website. Stay classy. I've been Mick, they've been Harry and Paul. Peace out.
Bye.
Cheery bye, driver.